The ECCO Offroad is engineered differently than most sandals. It's built on an anatomical last, meaning the shoe is moulded to match the actual curves of a human foot for a more natural fit. The construction uses a direct injection process to bond the sole to the upper without glue, making it incredibly durable. It also features receptor technology, which supports the foot through every phase of a step, from heel strike to push off. It's a lot of impressive tech on paper, but how do they actually stack up in real life? Hi guys, so I'm here to tell you about my experience with these awesome ECCO Offroad Sandals. Now, the fact that I used the word awesome just then will surely give you a clue that I really, these are fantastic. And no, I have no affiliation with the company whatsoever. And I'll tell you the story of how I actually found these. So these are Merrell's, and Merrell's, if anyone knows about sandals or power walking sandals, Merrell's is a really good brand, and I've had Merrell's a lot throughout. Like, these are probably about my 5th pair. And so I bought these Merrell's a couple of years ago, and not to take away from the Merrell's, but they were okay, but the back strap was sort of bugging me a bit on these, and they weren't quite as they didn't have quite the padding that I was sort of after. So I went shopping for new power walking sandals. So I went to a big shopping centre we have here on the Gold Coast, Pack Fair, and I went to a number of shoe shops, including shops that are not traditionally just shoes, like Kathmandu and a couple of other Rebel Sport and a few other shops that sell a lot of sort of sporting gear plus shoes. And I basically went everywhere looking. And then there was this small shoe shop, I shouldn't call it small, but there was a small shoe shop on, I think, the ground floor near where I go to Proud Smile Dental for my whole Invisalign journey thing. And so I just thought, well, I'll check out this shop. And so I walked in, and on the right-hand side, there was a shelf. And I spotted them immediately. And on this shelf, there was like about 5 of these sandals that I hadn't seen before. And I really did see them instantly. And so I went over and I looked at them, I picked them up, and I thought, wow, these look really awesome. And then I asked the sales assistant if I could try some on, so she found my size. I tried them on, and basically it honestly was love at first sight. So I saw the ECCO, like ECCO, and I'd never heard of ECCO. And the other good thing going for me that day was that there was a sale on as well for ECCO, which will help you if you can find these on sale. Let's just say that. But then, so I bought them. So I tried them on, and instantly I knew that they're fantastic, like, basically, because my foot's got I've got a bit of a broader foot. And so there are a lot of shoes that that feel too tight on me. But these, as soon as I put them on, like, they had enough room, and happily, I was even able to go a half size smaller than I normally do, because they've got that width here at the toe end. Because usually my sandals are a little bit floppy, they're a little bit too big just to accommodate my sort of toe area. Not with these. And the straps were beautiful, they were comfortable, and unlike this back strap here that really bugged me, and a lot of the other walking sandals that I went looking in the shops had all these fancy straps. Like, they've got straps going up your ankles, and all this sort of fancy gear that might look fantastic. But I'm a mum of 2 kids, I'm a mum of a toddler. So, well, technically Spencer is now over 3, so I think he's technically not a toddler anymore, but a mum of a young child. Basically, and I power walk. I'm a real power walker. I use power walking in the morning to sort of offload any sort of stress that has accumulated. So I really need a good power walking sandal, and I need them to be durable and sturdy. And so basically I needed sensible straps, which these have got. And look, everything about them I loved. So I bought them, and now I have been wearing them for a while now. Not too long, because they still look sort of semi-respectable. Despite being in sand, despite being in water, despite being in dirt and grass and all the rest of it, they're still looking quite good. But, oh look, they're beautiful. Truly, they're beautiful. So what I love about them is yes, this broad toe here. And also, I didn't need to break these in.
And I think that's because this company, now I'm going to start sounding like an ad. This really isn't an ad, this really is my experience. This company fit a shoe, they make a shoe to fit your foot. They don't design a fancy shoe and then try and force the human foot into that shoe. They look at the human foot first, and then they design a shoe to fit that foot. And so I did notice that as soon as I put these on. And to say, honestly, I'd never heard of ECCO. So I was curious, obviously. So I when I bought them, I put them into Google, as you do, look up stuff. And it turns out they're a Danish brand. So as soon as I saw that, I thought the penny started to drop. I mean, they really are good quality. And I do think you will find good quality from European brands. Overall, I know that's probably a, overarching statement. Perhaps there's going to be things that aren't, but overall, I do think that you'll find good quality from companies there. And also, when I saw it, I thought it sort of looks a bit IKEA-like, and I know IKEA is a Swedish brand, but basically Denmark and Sweden are very close together, neighbours. So they're sort of my IKEA sandals, but oh look, they're just, no blisters basically. I didn't have to wear them in, and that's because it really does fit the human foot beautifully, and it really does. And so they've been fantastic. I didn't have to break them in like you do traditionally. Also, the grip on these is phenomenal. And why that matters for me is because I am frequently found at the top of slides and pirate ships and rocks now, because Spencer's getting more exploratory. And so Spencer will climb up these rocks, and guess who has to climb up after him to rescue him? And that's Mum. And when I first wore these in a playground base, or not a playground actually, it was Macintosh Island Park, and there's a lot of rocks there that Spencer likes to climb up. When I was wearing these and I went to climb up on the rock, I was really surprised. This actually gripped on to the rock. So it was almost like if I lost my balance, this was going to keep gripping on. Like it was such a good grip. And then also in the playgrounds, when I'm climbing up metal staircases and all that, this will just help me grip. So look, I recommend these so much. And I've had so many experiences with sandals where the sole comes off really quickly. So, the whole injecting thing. So with their sole, they have this special method of they'll have the mold of the shoe, and rather than stitching or gluing the sole on, they've got that fancy injection type thing where they'll actually put this fluid sort of material into the mold of the shoe. And then once that, I think, grips onto the leather or whatever mold there is that they're working with, it then totally solidifies. So it becomes like one seamless thing rather than an upper and a separate sole that they're sort of trying to glue together. And that does really make a difference. For durability, these are known to apparently be really, really durable, which is just also fantastic, because a really good pair of shoes, when you find a really good pair of shoes, there's nothing worse than the sole coming apart in a year or something, because then obviously you have to go shopping for another really good pair of shoes. And so I'm really hoping that these will last the distance, and I sort of really do think that they will. And also they've got this receptor technology as well. There's some sort of shank or something in here somehow, and then that gives you that support of your front as your foot sort of takes off like this, gives you that arch support, and also gives you that support on your heel as your foot comes down. So they've sort of got, as well as designing the shoe for your foot, they've also got all this fantastic technology in the shoe to give your foot that really good support that you need. And I really needed as well a shoe that was gonna, pretty much, because we live in Queensland, it's hot all the time, but I needed a sneaker type sandal, basically. I needed something I could run in, I needed something I could power walk in, and I also, and I know this might be a bit of an oxymoron, I also needed something to look like, so I could just wear my summer dress with these and they still look nice, so I could just go shopping in them or anything. And to be honest, I think these tick every single box. I really, really do. They're practical, they're comfortable, they're protective of my foot, and also your joints too. That's really important. Like if you're power walking, I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's obviously why you need good padding here for not just your feet, obviously your ankles, your knees, your hips, everything. So I needed something practical, something protective, something that looked nice enough that I could wear with summer dresses out and about, and something that was going to last. And yeah, so basically ECCO, for me anyway, ECCO has just ticked and is ticking all the boxes. So to say I recommend these really is true. Like this really is my honest experience. I'm in no way affiliated with ECCO. I probably wish I was, because I do think they're probably a very good brand. But yeah, so basically, if you've never heard of ECCOs, check them out in your shoe shop and try them on, because yeah, and if you're lucky enough to find some on sale, then I would certainly grab them if I was you, because I did find mine on sale, and yeah, I have not looked back and absolutely love them. I give them a A++.